Hello, hello. I'm seeing some folks
Hello.
joining us today. Thank you so much for joining us this lovely Monday. Um, this is a webinar for galleries, and we will be talking about everything e-commerce, specifically for selling art. My name is Megan Schaefer. I'm the creative director at ArtCloud, and a previous arts worker myself. My background's in the arts, and I'm really looking forward to speaking about this topic with my awesome CEO, Alex, and digging in to his wealth of knowledge on how to use the best tools to sell the artwork of the artists that you represent online. And we're really looking forward to having you guys. If you wouldn't mind dropping into the chat where where you're dialing in from today, and we will get started shortly. I will go on to the next slide. This is our brief agenda. So we'll be going through how to make your inventory work for itself with all of the details and the information that you need to effectively sell online. What you need to offer, what is best to offer on your website, including virtual installs, private exhibitions, things like this. How to sell on your website, specifically an ArtCloud website. That's what we know the best. And via meta catalogs, how to use our opportunity tracker to really track everything that you're doing, payment options, analytics, and then I'll speak a little bit about the current state of social media for selling art as an art gallery online. As you guys know, things are always changing with technology and how things are working for our industry, and we'll just go over everything that we know about e-commerce for art galleries in the span of about 35-40 minutes. And then at the end, we will have a Q&A. So please utilize the Q&A section and or the chat to drop your questions. And then if you'd like to watch this again, we will be sending this recording out along with a call to schedule a private demo should you be interested in ArtCloud and you're not within our community of customers yet. So you can always watch the webinar again. So without further ado, I will pass it over to Alex. Alex is going to speak to our platform and how all thank you, Peter. Nice to see you. All of the things that ArtCloud has to offer and speak to all of that. So thanks again for being here, and I'm going to hand it over to Alex.
Cool. Again, thank you guys for being here today. We will try to make sure that it is worth your time. Before we kind of get into any of the specifics, we had that list, and I'll certainly walk through that list. I guess I just want to set the expectation that no e-commerce platform is ever going to be just kind of a set it and forget it type of action. Your website is a living, breathing object, just like your gallery is, and so it takes maintenance, it takes thought. And as a rule, whenever you're kind of asking yourself a question, just always try to go back to the user's, the visitor's perspective, and then try to imagine what it feels like for them, and then try to answer or try to see if the answers kind of emerge from that. So it's a little abstract, but just wanted to kind of frame that because we will try to get out of our heads and get into our visitors' heads with every one of these bullet points to make it clear why they are, I believe, the best use of time, or where you'll get the most leverage out of the work you can do for your website. So the first item we had is just making sure that you have good content for your inventory. So when you have a website that has all of your inventory on it, and you are looking for people to purchase that work, it's just important that you have good images. That if you upload multiple images, ArtCloud will automatically make the inventory detail page a slideshow. And if someone, going back to that first statement I said, if a visitor comes to your website, is engaged and interested enough in the content to find their way to a specific inventory detail page with a piece of work, if they hit a wall here and they're like, oh, I can't do anything with this, then they're not, like, if there's no CTAs, if there's no buy now button, if there's no way to look at other images, then they're just you're doing all the work to get them there. You're doing all the work to build a beautiful site that gets them to what they like. and then they can't kind of get over that finish line. So make sure your images are high quality. Make sure if you have multiple images, include those, and make sure that you're filling out all the information. So the medium, the dimensions, the price, like all that information, so that anyone that's browsing can answer any question they have about the piece before they leave or lose interest. Um, the next kind of topic goes, or next kind of item on our list was just giving them as many engagement options as they can. So I'm gonna contrast this image with another image soon on this website, but you can see there's no inquire button here. There's no purchase button here. The no purchase button is because we don't, this is a demo account, but there's no inquire button here, but there is a virtual install. So a user could come in here and virtually install this work. They can share this work. That does give them kind of ways that they can interact with it. If they're interested, if they're curious, they can explore their, start answering the questions, build up a little bit more enthusiasm about that piece. They can also zoom in on the work. So, ArtCloud's going to really help you with all of this automatically. You just have to upload that content, and it will be there. Trying to battle Zoom here with this little X. So if you haven't experimented with the virtual install or the share button, definitely worth a try. But I think as a principle, going back to that first idea, like anything that you can, any way that you can meet the visitor where they are on the inventory detail page is going to be a good use of time, good use of effort. Because once you get them to an inventory detail page, you've done all the work. Again, you've gotten them to the finish line. You've got them on your site. They've found something that they like. They've engaged with that artist's profile page. They've now found a work that they're interested in. And so just anything you can do to keep them engaged on the site there. Let's see. There's also some other widgets to explore using, things like showing the artist bio underneath the inventory detail page. So if you were to come back to your page template, and I know we've got a lot of current users on here, so we'll walk through this as well. So if you edit that inventory page detail, one of the widgets you can add here is the artist bio. I won't build all of this out, but you can put the artist bio here. You can put the artist profile picture. And again, going back to that visitor's perspective, if they found a piece that they really like, and now they want to read a little bit more about the artist, if you can keep any kind of more content on this page, now all of a sudden they can start digging in. This artist doesn't have much of a bio, but they can start digging in and really reading that content and engaging with more information. So something to play around with, just making sure that these inventory detail profile pages have as much content and accurate content, quality content, and kind of CTAs or call to actions, buttons that the user can press to engage wherever they are in their interest. Let's see. If this is a demo account, so we can't demo true e-commerce today, but if you have a real ArtCloud account and you link a Stripe account to that, you can have a pay now button here as well underneath the inquire button or in lieu of the inquire button. And that will walk a user through a really seamless checkout process. I will show that to you in the builder. You can always make edits to that checkout experience as well. So one of the page templates you can edit is what that shopping cart page looks like for your visitors. And we pulled up a sample here. We have Apple Pay. Again, like a broken record, I will remind you, users don't like to fill out forms. And so if you're comfortable with Apple Pay, a lot of people are using Safari. Apple Pay will make it so that they don't have to type in their credit card information or their address. They can just click that Apple Pay button and it verifies who they are, and then it checks out automatically for them. There's also this credit card form. Again, you can, just like all of our forms, you can control all the content in here, the formatting, button colors, etc. So if you have any questions, you can certainly talk to our support team, but all of the checkout process, the entire formatting of that is all editable by you. And so you can make all those edits and customize that to whatever you think is going to be the best experience for your collectors. Also, a lot of people in the art, like a lot of collectors of artwork, are not going to make a pure purchase on day one. They're going to just like on Instagram, if you've ever been influenced to buy something on Instagram, you might like a post first, and then you see it 10 more times, or then you see other ads for it, and then you're going to kind of build up enough confidence to actually make that purchase. Unfortunately, you probably don't have the marketing resources that $1 billion e-commerce company that's selling on Instagram would have, and so nor are you selling inventory that would even scale to that fashion. Artwork is one-off. And so what a lot of e-commerce looks like is commerce that starts off as an inquiry from the website, but then is closed by the gallery 3 to 4 with 3 to 4 interactions afterwards. And so I think that even counting those as e-commerce sales, I think are really, really important. And so the next kind of bit of content we want to walk through is just being disciplined and expecting that you are going to have to respond to website inquiries. You're going to have to have a little bit of a strategy about, how quickly do we want to respond to those? What is our standard response? What is our standard follow-up? What is our standard, answer to shipping questions and logistics questions and things like that? And so one thing that we've built for galleries to help them manage all of that follow-up, because when your website is performing well, when people are coming into it, it can be, you can get 20, 30, 40 inquiries a day, and it's really hard to maintain all of those kind of statuses. So we built this opportunity tracker, and I won't go into a whole lot of detail here because we're trying to stay focused on e-commerce, but I just want to remind people that every inquiry that comes in from their website will appear in this opportunity tracker. All of these stages are configurable by you guys. So you can open up any inquiry, see who the client is, see any kind of interactions that have happened, see what artwork they're inquiring about, and send any follow-up reminders from here. So a combination of the opportunity tracker and the, let me go back to one that has let's see if we can get something. Let's include the potential purchases here with a tear sheet. So if they were inquiring about particular works, and then using the email templates. So if you want to get with your sales staff and figure out, okay, this is a template email that we want to send to every single inquiry that comes in off of our website, put those into your email templates section. And that way, when any sales associates responding to that website inquiry, whether that be from the gallery or if it came in over the weekend and you want to quickly get back to somebody, they can just select that, follow up to an inquiry template, for example, and you're going to get all of the information right there. They can just customize whatever they want to customize, and then start working that lead to a close. And that's still, I would consider that still e-commerce. The person had a question, you answered the question, and then they made a purchase. Which leads us to one of the next and final kind of elements is when you are closing a sale outside of the website, but that was originated from the website, or even if it was originated from elsewhere, you can send users a remote pay link, so you can get the link for this invoice. Any open invoice will have this link, and if they click on this link, let's see if we can. I hope this works, even though this is a demo account. That will pull up the invoice, and they can pay it remotely there. We just also launched an integration with Affirm, and so you can also turn that Affirm integration on. And what's nice about that is the collector can pay for it via a payment plan, so they can configure with Affirm if they want to pay it over 3 months, 10 months, or maybe I think even 15 months, depending on their Affirm account. You get all of your money right away, and Affirm deals with all the collections and the interest payments and all of that with the collector. So if you have clients that are saying that I'm interested in purchasing this work, but I want a payment plan, you can continue to do that internally and collect on their credit card over the year, or you can let them have the piece right away, let Affirm do all that work. You still get your money, and they're going to pay a little bit more with Affirm, but it's a great way for you for them to get the work right away, and then for you not have to be in the collections business. So we sent out a customer newsletter last week or the week before that mentioned some of that Affirm stuff, and pull that back up if you have any questions, and or just reach out to our support team. They'll be happy to help you get that set up. The last thing, again, going back to that idea that e-commerce isn't something that you just turn on and it just starts working. It's a process of refining your website, refining your marketing, to prepare your collectors that e-commerce is an option, and that that they should explore that with you. One analytical dashboard that we have built to help you guys feel less in the dark when you're analyzing, well, why is this not working, or why is it taking longer than I thought, or what part of this whole thing needs the most work. And so one thing we've built is on the website analytics here. Um, when you pull this up, you can pick any date range, just like all of our analytics. And we're going to pull up three buckets. And I know that numbers can get intimidating, but I'll just ask you to bear with me for this because this is a critically important way to understand what's working and what's not working and where to focus your energy. And really, it's really the first two buckets that matter the most. This bucket, the awareness bucket, and the engagement bucket. If you think about the whole life cycle of an e-commerce visitor, they're living their life. Somehow they are interrupted from their life and they see your content, and then they engage with that content and they make it to your website. That is kind of all that's happening before it hits the awareness bucket. So as soon as your great marketing brings them to your website, our analytics are going to start tracking their involvement with your website, with this e-commerce lifecycle stage. So in this awareness bucket, we're going to show you the total number of visitors that made it to your site. So this is unique visitors that came to this site in the last quarter. And just a little bit of like extra data on the page views. And we can even drill down here and see, okay, where do they come from? So you get a little bit of a sense of like what marketing channels are working the best, but that's for another day. What's most important and what I really want you guys to pay attention to is looking at this number. The percentage of people that come to your website that actually make an inquiry or an e-commerce purchase is the conversion rate. Again, to take it like try to use like not the fanciest or like technical words here, but like what percentage of people that made it to your website actually had a great experience and a good enough experience to actually convert over and fill out a form, make an inquiry or make a purchase, like to actually start engaging your sales process. And we'll show you the industry average. So over this date range, the industry average is 1.7, and this demo account is performing at 2.2. So if this was your gallery and your data, you could say, hey, we're actually doing better than the industry. Our website is converting visitors to leads, to sales opportunities, or to pure sales better than the industry average. So we're doing really good there. Then you have the second bucket of like, okay, well, these are all the people that made a lead or made an opportunity or became a lead or purchased a work. Of these 3,000 inquiries, how many were we able to actually close? And this demo data is a high performing account because it's a demo account. So you can see the industry average is 17% of leads were able to be closed by galleries and small businesses that are selling luxury goods. So if you were performing 54% here, then you're way over exceeding the industry average. So you would want to put more energy here. You'd want to figure out what else could we add to our website to turn our 2.2% number to a 4% number or to a 6% number. And I know that none of you guys started a gallery to like get into analytics and live your month by month on numbers, but if you are lost and you're frustrated and you don't feel like you know where to go next, this is just a great litmus test to say, okay, this is the whole puzzle. Where are we performing well, and where could we really improve? And because over and over and over again, we hear people say e-commerce isn't working, and we look at these analytics with them, and their website's actually converting a ton of opportunities. They just don't have a good sales process to follow up to keep those users engaged. So their website isn't able to show that value, even though it's actually doing a fantastic job of taking visitors and converting them to opportunities or some type of lead. So I'll kind of leave you guys with that spot. And again, we're always available if you have any questions. I know I covered a lot of topics, but I'll try to hit the highlights one more time. Make sure you upload really good content, really good images, all the information for your inventory, so that when someone does make it to an inventory profile page, the content that they're looking at is really sharp and clear. Make sure that you have lots of call to actions and content on that inventory detail page, because if you did all the work to get them all the way to that finish line, let them cross it. Don't block them at that very, very last bit of the race. Use analytics to try to track where in the process you could improve or where you're going to get the most leverage for your work. Um, and yeah, and leverage the payment options to meet customers where they are, with the firm. So I hope that helps. And again, happy to cover any questions we can in Q&A or later. Just email our support team and we'll be as helpful as we can.
Thank you so much, Alex. Yeah, it's there's so much to do on the back end to present the information the correct way and take away all of the barriers and all the boundaries from the people that you're getting to your website to buy the things. But this is where I'm going to take over and talking about how do we get the people, the new people, the old people, the people we already know, the strangers that live in a different state, a different country. How do we get them to our website in the first place? And that is where social media and ways of getting your website on to other places out into the universe comes in. So some of these things I know I can actually see some of the attendees. They're already doing such a phenomenal job. I'm going to present a couple of galleries that I personally look to that they're doing a great job of posting consistently, posting the right type of content in terms of a real mixture of reels and static content on Instagram. People who are doing TikTok, reaching a sort of a younger audience. So to speak to this is a big block of a big slide of text. My apologies about that. But my 5 best practices, basically, just like Alex said on your website, high quality images and videos. If it feels kind of blurry and not really well done, it's not worth it. You really want to like stay super high end and legitimate in this space. If you are going to be posting on social media in general, leveraging storytelling to connect with audiences. A day in the life of our intern, a day in the life of our owner, go like a tour of the back room, like why we made the floor choice in our renovation that we did. People are endlessly curious about why you're doing the things you're doing. So just having pictures of the artwork, or like, we're having an artist talk on Saturday, you should come, like mixing in a bunch of storytelling to really have them buy in as if they're like reading a novel, as if they're like wanting to get to know you as a friend. That's going to bring them into the point where they're like, I want a piece of this place. I want to really, like, they have the artists that I want to collect. And that storytelling really brings them to the table to go to your website to purchase a piece. Fun fact, I am currently using a firm to buy a piece of art at the moment through an ArtCloud gallery, and it works really well for those of us who maybe can't take a really big multi-thousand-dollar bite out of our budget. It's a really popular current way to sell work. So explaining that, like making a reel about that. Did you know that you can use pay over time options? Really getting creative. So optimizing hashtags. The current, like up to the moment thing about hashtags is that they are not really that useful if you're using like 30 of them expecting your people to come to the table. It's really about showing up in the explore page. So using like really specific ones seems to be sort of what the industry is recommending that you do, and then using geotags for reach. So if you're in the Washington, D.C. area, if you are in Atlanta, if you're where we are based, making sure you're using geotags to make sure your content, the algorithm, the almighty algorithm, is serving your content and your shoppable posts, for example, to people in your area, if that is part of your strategy. I'm engaging regularly to foster a community. So using all those options within Instagram, like the polls, the questions, doing stories, giveaways, exclusives, activating this type of strategy means that you're covering all your bases without just posting like a static image. So yes, and then incorporating an appropriate call to action. The buy now, the inquire within, the make an offer. I don't know if Alex mentioned it, but we do also have an option for people to make offers on artwork. It sounds a little wonky, but it tends to work, and people actually don't tend to be too crazy about it. They're not like offering something, too low. So we have a variety of CTAs within ArtCloud websites to bring people across the line to inquire, to reach out, to buy now, to pay over time. However they want to buy the art, we will make it happen for them. So that is that. And then driving a CTA within your actual caption text, and sometimes actually within the post as well. So people really know what to do. You have to tell people what to do, like what the action you're asking them to take is. Just a few industry stats. The 0.82 for art related accounts. I think we all kind of know that art content would perform better than, say, something a little bit more bland. But in terms of actually capitalizing on that, making sure, again, the CTAs, like you're not just saying, look at this piece of art, you're saying, look at this piece of art. This artist is interesting because XYZ. You should add this piece to your collection. We offer pay over time, like adding all of that information so they really know that they can buy that piece. Facebook is surprising to me. This is something that the powers that be recommend for art buying in particular. Facebook is a place I think we know, some older generations hang out on Facebook a little bit more than TikTok. So making sure that you're continuing to post and perhaps create events and make sure you're engaged in proper groups. Groups are weirdly a big part of Facebook. So so activating some strategy around that can be really helpful for art galleries. So the questions that I have, sort of like rhetorical questions for art gallery owners, operators, staff members, individual artists. I have found it helpful in previous jobs as a content marketer and this current job. Do you stick to a content calendar based on your 12-month analytics? Like, have you been into your Instagram account to see which posts are performing the best? That is a really solid way to like plan your future. Mixing a strategy with reels and videos and static posts, that brings your content to different types of people that can buy different types of things. And then are you using LinkedIn? LinkedIn's like a really weird place that you can, just post pretty easily, just recycle the content you're using on Instagram, on LinkedIn. And you'll hit people that, are professionally minded, are, really engaged in career related things. And those people usually have money to buy art. And then what are you using to design and plan and schedule your posts? As we know, and as Alex said, this e-commerce stuff isn't just one and done. You don't publish your website and then forget about it for a month and a half and expect to sell work. It's just unfortunately not how it goes. So updating your website with new works. ArtCloud has so many features. It's like it blows my mind every day. But we also have this new arrivals email that you can send to audiences and people within your CRM, your contacts. That should translate to the rest of your marketing strategy as well. So making sure you're using like Canva and perhaps Photoshop, but honestly, Canva is the way now to design those posts to make sure that you're presenting the new arrivals or the pieces of art in a really beautiful way. You can also create your reels on Canva too. You can design videos on Canva, and then use ChatGPT. Like in this day, like to really optimize your e-commerce strategy, you need a lot of content and you need it really consistently. And it still feels a weird Nikki to me, but it is a really good way to make sure you have everything you need to have in your captions and within your email newsletters. Your email
Megan, to put you on the spot,
Oh
what
God.
chat GPT prompt you have used for our cloud marketing content?
Oh no, my
I
boss
know.
is here,
I
everybody.
mean, if you're not prepared,
No, I am.
okay, okay, cool. I didn't want
I totally am. So say if we're posting, like for example, the post about our Affirm edition. So Affirm is a relatively new feature for ArtCloud, and I needed to write a little blurb about just like the value propositions of Affirm, of like why you would need Affirm, why art galleries and the art world could use a firm, and kind of how. And so I kind of word vomited, if I said that in a webinar. That's great.
Yeah, that's okay.
Just sort of, okay, I need this, and this, and I need it in a really digestible Instagram specific caption. And it takes the entire internet and makes it what you need it to be, and then you can go in and kind of iterate from there. So I've just found it really helpful for just like doing things faster. You're dumping your brain out. I need and I'll write, and then it will craft the correct like version of what I need.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know if
really
that's
good at condensing content. So if
content.
if
Thank
you
you.
could bomb it out all of your ideas for a post,
Yeah,
and then say, hey, make this into a 3 sentence
mhm.
Instagram caption, it will do a really good job
It really will.
distilling that content into clear, concise post.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to kind of save time and introduce consistency into your
Yep.
marketing efforts.
And if I were working for a gallery, I would also include like say this in a way that would drive a buyer to press purchase, or like just again like always mention like the goal at hand, which is I need to sell this piece. Like I need to reach the most, the people with the most interesting version of this story, and that extends to blog posts, that extends to email copy, and then also with your content calendar. If you export your analytics from Instagram, or whatever your net whatever platform you're using, put that into ChatGPT and say, I need you to tell me like what posts are doing the best. You can utilize its content, the condensing kind of mechanism to really work for you when you're trying to. And I've almost always worked on really small teams too, so do a lot of stuff fast. So yeah, that's my piece on social media when it comes to selling art. You also have the ability to use meta catalogs. So actually selling art via Instagram, like you tap, you see shop, you can actually buy something. That connection exists in ArtCloud as well to your inventory. That deserves a whole webinar on its own, but know that that's another way to do that. So that's
For
another.
for Instagram and for Pinterest, I believe we also have
And
it.
for Pinterest.
Pinterest. So either of those platforms, you can integrate your active or available inventory or whatever inventory you choose to put into those social catalogs. And that's just another distribution channel that can help spread the attention and drive more traffic to your website and to your
I'm
inventory.
a bit of a Pinterest person, so I'm that rings true. I definitely have seen shoppable things on there before, that aren't just like pants that I want to buy. Certainly artworks as well. So before we get to our Q&A, I wanted to show you guys one of my favorite websites that I know operates with e-commerce every day. So Morton Fine Art is a gallery based out of Washington, D.C., and their website I always point to basically with the way that they present their work. It's really clean. It's really easy to navigate their website. You see they have, Hiromitsu's bio at the top here, and then you have a really clean listing of his works. You can click into it. There are detailed images of different ways to see the work, which is super important when trying to sell anything art related, especially something that has a bit of dimension. Um, you also have Red Arrow. So Red Arrow is another one of my favorites. They have a very large stable, as you can see, but have a really great sort of tab system on their website to show you, what this artist has been involved in exhibition wise, videos around this artist, and then what works are available. And then you can click in and easily inquire. You're seeing how fast I'm going with this. And then they also have images of the work in situ, which I just can't emphasize enough is extremely important. So that's just another sort of e-commerce tip. Uh,
Top
so
left.
yeah. Let's go back to I haven't checked the Q&A in a little bit.
Yeah, we
Don't
got the
open there.
first one. I answered over text. If anyone missed that over text, there was a question about multi-language support in our cloud websites, and we uh, can integrate. There's multiple kind of external plugins that can convert text for you from one language to any other language on your website. We support integration to almost all of them. One being free, which is Google Translate. We've got quite a bit of experience installing that. So if you have any questions, talk to your sales rep or support, and one of them will happily help you walk through what it will take to get translation in there. Um, Kirsten Wilcox is asking about the difference between showing price on inventory. I think that's probably the eternal debate in the art world. Should you show prices on your website? Uh, I I like the answer. I think it's just going to vary gallery by gallery. I think that the variables that affect the the answer to that question are how responsive are you on email? If someone inquires about a work, even if it's after business hours, are you getting back to them within an hour? If if you are the type of person that can get back and use the email templates to get that in there and promptly inquire, and you can condition your users to know that you're going to be on your email, you're going to answer every question they have, then I think that inquiries are going to not showing prices and driving all interest through the inquiry process is going to work better. If you feel like you don't have the bandwidth to respond back within 1 hour, I think that you're going to frustrate users because they're going to feel like they have questions and they can't get the answer right away. And you're going to be better off just showing the price on the inventory detail page, but it's something worth experimenting with. So I would, turn it off for a month and see how many inquiries you get. That's a great use of that analytics tool. You can write down the number of inquiries you got that month, and then turn your prices off, and then see if the inquiries go up or not. Um,
And it
uh,
depends on the relationship that you have with your artist. I think, I mean, we're preaching to the choir here, but if your artist has a funky contract and you're not necessarily wanting that artist, the price for all their pieces public on your website. Alex, this is something I should likely know, but can you toggle off price being visible for certain artists versus other artists?
yeah, our option to show prices or not show prices are more of a reflection of the inventory than of the artist. So the best way, if you wanted to turn prices off for a particular artist, you would find all the inventory that's opted into the website inside of ArtCloud for that artist. So you'd go to your inventory list page, you do a search for that artist, and then you do another search for opted into the website. That's going to show you all of the works that will be shown on your website. And you can batch edit them and change their display price to contact for price. And that will then not show the price, show that contact to price CTA, and drive traction. So try that out. Um, Also have a question on showing solds and on holds. You can absolutely show the status of a work. And we even have like a sec, you can even make sections. Some people will use, you can drag as many inventory blocks as you want on different pages. And one of the filters for those inventory blocks is by status. So you can, say, show all the sold work down here, and then you can, maybe have the images be a little bit smaller, or not have the price information. So you can absolutely kind of curate inventory by status so that it's a great question because you want more content. I think the answer is always have more content on your website. It's more things for search engines to digest and will give you more authority because when they rank you up against other galleries, you're going to have more content or the more content you have, the more confident search engines are going to be that you're an authoritative site for that type of search result. And then obviously going back to the first principles discussion we had at the beginning, users are curious and they want to see things. And the more content you give them, the more confident they're going to be. And the more confident they are, the more inquiries they're going to make.
That's great. And then anonymous, can't remember the terminology, but fields for SEO terms on web pages. How important
Yeah,
is that?
great question. Out of the box, automatically, ArtCloud is going to do the absolute best job it can to generate SEO tags for your content. And out of the box, you will have content for every image, for every exhibition, for every artist profile. The page titles are going to be optimized, the header tags, the alt tags, the rich, like just like an endless spew of kind of boxes will be checked for great SEO. Um, if you want, you can always go override what the SEO fields are for particular artworks. So if you feel like, our standard uh, fields are not, that we're not doing the best possible job. For example, if you don't want to optimize for your artist names, you want to optimize for nature photography from Montana, and that's what you want to kind of really layer into, then you can absolutely override them. Um, I will say that first of all, anyone that tells you they know how SEO works is absolutely lying. No one does, and it changes every month, it's not every hour. More and more of this stuff is now being parsed by AI and large language models, which means all the rules from last year are out the window. So don't believe anyone, but the best I know to do is to go back and just stick with those first principles and think about it from the perspective that Google's job for people to still trust Google and still want to use Google as a search engine is to return the most authoritative site for any search query. So if there's a search query that you want to rank highly for, ask yourself, am I answering that question, or am I displaying that content better than anyone else on my website? Do I have blog posts that talk about it? Do my artist bios talk about it? Do the notes on my inventory records talk about it? Does my about page talk about it? And if you are doing that, I think that over 2 to 3 months, your site should index very well for those things. If you're so yeah, I'll stop there. But if you have any questions, you can contact us. But again, I think that SEO is a great place where people will sink
Yeah.
countless hours of their life, days of their life into with no results because they're not optimizing for the right problem. They think that if they have perfect SEO for an esoteric search term, that the sales are just going to be uncontrollable, and they forget that maybe no one's searching for that term, or um, you know that's not the right term to optimize for. So just would challenge you to just take a deep breath before you start putting too much work into SEO and make sure that you really do believe that's the best use of your energy.
Yeah, and then the sort of holistic approach is always something that we emphasize, like for all the social media things that I was talking about for your blog. Your blog is a good way to inject additional content into the search engine machine. Um, it's focusing on SEO for too long means that you're not focusing as much on your storytelling and on getting the word of the gallery out there in an authentic way, which people smell it on you. So it's good too to really think about like your entire business and like why people would want to buy from you, and then the e-commerce strategy on top of that. So on that note, Alex, I think we'll let these nice people get back to the rest of their day. And thank you so much for speaking to ArtCloud and all of the ways in which we support e-commerce. And last thing, if you are not on ArtCloud yet, we would love to demo you with a full tour of our product with one of our salespeople. Look out for this recording and a few other resources via email in the next couple of days here, and we will surely get you all the information you need. And I hope you guys have a great day. And yeah, enjoy the week.
See you guys. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks so much.